Okay, welcome back. Do another video. Basically, a little small tutorial on how to do this hummingbird earring edging. It's a wrap style stitch edging. I do have 6 beads going around it in the back, wrapping out the whole piece and doing the whole back. As you can see here, it looks pretty nice in the back. I mean, the front too is pretty nice. It's nice and tight. It's very consistent. You can see all the way through. So even did the corners pretty well and kind of refilled them in. But anyways, I still have a small section to do on this, but it's basically the same thing all the way through the whole bit. So when I run out, or when I start this, I should say, I try to put my knot between the two pieces, between the back in here, which is my buckskin split, and the front part here, which is the actual beaded section, which I'm beading into Pilon 70 as my backing material. You guys can use whatever you guys want, but that's what I use, what I prefer. So I do run the knot in between it, going through the Pilon alone. So then when I do the wrap, it actually hides the knot. And when I pass through, I go from the front to the back as I'm working. So now my strings through the back, there is spacing from the last set of beads to the first set, or to the new set I'm going to add. So with this piece, I'm using size 13 beads. Size 13 Charlotte cut beads. So let me show you. Size 13 Charlotte cut. With these, I'm able to use a size 12 and 13 needle, John James long, and the thread size I'm using is this 9MOB by Codes on a 3-ounce spool. This is the date I opened it, so it's a few days ago I opened this brand new spool. But that's what I'm using for all the material I'm doing this edging. So when I put it on, I do have a double thread on the needle. So when I put it through the front here, I don't go next to the piece, as you can see. I don't go right here, because then they'll have the beads bunch up. So you're going to give yourself a little space. And then when you pass through, you notice I'm going at an angle across. Going in an angle. And even from the side here, you can see the needle is going at a downward angle. So this is flat. And you see the needle is going down. If I turn it so it's straight, you can see angle down. So when I push it through and pull it through and set this. So when I do set my beads, I do push it down with my finger before I pull it tight. So pull it down, make sure the beads are in the back, and push towards the front. And I grab my 2 fingers, hold it, and tighten. Just so then the beads don't shift and move, it actually tightens and squeezes down with even pressure. So then the rows are basically even. But going at that angle, down and away, sets me up for the next row. So you see, it's over a bit. Roughly about half a row, half a bead row over. So I can add my next 6 beads for the next series of, or my next row of beads. My next section. So moving at an angle down. So you can go be a little more aggressive at going down. If you're not too aggressive, then your beads won't actually sit right. So like I said, I do push it down forward. So it was up here like that. So I push it down so it sits level with these 2 back beads. When I tighten it, I do kind of squeeze together and pull, so then it sits in that place. It actually sits and holds in that the placement I want it to be in. I don't know. I'm pretty nervous, so my words in my mouth ain't working as well as I wanted to. So when you go through, you want to make sure see your thread there. I have it, and you see it's over roughly about a bead and a half. You just want to have it in that section. And like I said, if you just tighten it, well, it's like that. You see how it's high in the back. You can see the thread. If you just tighten it there, you call it good. They're not going to have the even consistency, so that's why I want to push your beads back and kind of have it lined up. When you get lined up, just squeeze your beads together and hold it, then tighten. And I'll hold and I'll squeeze in that area. Because if you don't, then you'll get that wonkiness, oddness in the back where your beads will have it kind of waving around. So you want to just constantly move like that. See, I did pull up pretty fast. It's not set. Pull it forward to the back. And it's set pretty straight. So I'm trying to get that motion consistent. That consistent motion of you being at that angle if you want to be doing this kind of wrap stitch. I mean, it can be done on many different things. Round pairs, like this odd shape I'm doing. So, like I said, it has these real big round corners. It can be done with that as well. Like I said, your beading space from your last set of beads over is also crucial. And then push over, tighten, set it, and then squeeze. So I am beading off the hank. I'm not picking up the loose beads. So I kind of go at a faster pace, faster motion, just so you can see how I work and do this. And I'll finish this off and show you guys how I finish the piece. So even though it looks weird here, so there's a weird gap there and a weird gap in the back. That's fine, because you can actually play with that. Make it look like there's enough beads there. So if you want, you can do your 6 and just kind of work your way with them in there and kind of force it in and make it move like that to make it fit. Or if you wanted to, if it's a little too close, you can actually put 4 in the back, actually 2 in the back, run your bead down the middle and add 2 in the front, like this. And I'll still do the same thing. Then just squeeze it tight, because no one's really going to look at that part as, oh, it's really bad. So I did do that here. So there's 4 here, there's 2, there's different parts here. On these ends, if there's too much spacing, you can add 5 in between each section. But there's enough space here for 3, but I was just showing that as an example. But if you're doing this, try to set it right in the center of your last row and your first row of beads. And just run it through. Same thing. My thread is getting a little tangled because I'm not focusing on my thread. And just like that, just pull it tight. And you have a nice consistent edge. So with here, I'm in the middle here. I'll run my thread in between, put it between all the beadwork. I'm not going to tie a knot in this because I hate tying knots and seeing knots in my work. And I'll do the same thing, just run it across. Like I said, at that downward angle, I did bend my needle. And run it between the beads again. So this will actually be held down with tension. As I pull across, it's actually squeezing around the edging, but not actual the beadwork itself. So I'll do that a few times so then I know it's properly wrapped. Has like 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches around. And then I'll just wrap it around a few times. Actually, I'll go with this last one and go at an angle like so. It's a really drastic angle, but that one, sure, if it does pull, it's not gonna pull directly out. It'll be still within the beadwork, so from here to here. And then I'll get my little X-Acto knife and just flush cut it across, pulling the thread and pulling it across. I'll cut it even with the beadwork. So when you do see it, you don't actually see the thread in there at all, or see any knots. So, but it is wrapped around 3-4 times and pulled tight, so then the tension's held all the way through those 3 wraps, and then gone across. So if it does back out, it'll back out within that 1/4 inch, but it won't be seen through anywhere. And I did take apart the fingernail post in the back, and all I do is put one side in, run it from the bottom up, and it just pops back in. And there it is. They are both done. Size 13s. Hummingbirds, 22 colors. Pretty. And not bad. I mean, I did a little section. So, thank you guys for watching. Hope that was informative and helped you guys out on your piece. And give a like, share, you know. I'm trying to get to 5K on here. I'm very close. But anyways, thank you and goodbye.